Hi, I'm Princess Jana of Estonia, a tiny kingdom somewhere in Europe. My parents, the king and queen of Estonia, always made sure I had everything except freedom. I couldn't go anywhere without someone watching me, and I hated that. All I wanted to do was experience life like a normal teen, and that chance finally came on my 17th birthday when they surprised me with a trip to the Maldives. But as they say, be careful what you wish for. The private jet waited as our limo pulled up. My best friend Emma, my boyfriend Sebastian, and I got out of the limo and walked to the plane. Mr. Boris, my bodyguard, pulled our suitcases. OMG! I can't believe this is real! Somebody pinch me! Sebastian pinched Emma playfully and they laughed. I liked that they got along.
It's just a private jet, Em. My dad owns like 3 of them.
Show off! Emma was my only friend. She'd been picked by my mother and introduced to me on my 5th birthday. My mother had called her my birthday present. Crazy, I know. Sebastian, on the other hand, was the son of a wealthy businessman, and we met when his family visited the palace. Do you guys want to go bungee jumping? I've always wanted to try it. Bungee jumping? Are you insane? The queen will never approve it. She doesn't need to know. Seb, what do you think?
You can go, Jana. We'll cover for you with Mr. Boris. We are good at keeping secrets, right, Em?
Yeah, totally. A few hours later, I stood at a huge bridge as I eagerly awaited my turn to jump. Just then, I spotted a cute guy carrying some jumping gear and figured he worked there. Hello, I'm Jana. You work here, right? It's my first time doing, well, anything. So I guess we'll need to be strapped together for my jump?
Sure. You can strap yourself to me any day. My name is Nicholas, by the way.
What a flirt! Anyway, as I was busy blushing, he squatted and strapped my ankle to his.
I know we just met, but you're going to have to hug me for this one.
I mean, I knew it was for the jump. Why was my heart beating so fast? Without thinking too much, I wrapped my hands around him and closed my eyes.
Ready?
Yes!
Here we go! Hold on tight!
And that is exactly what I did. When we jumped, I squealed all the way through while he laughed. It was the most exhilarating experience of my life. After my adventure, I sneaked back into the hotel, excited to tell Sebastian and Emma all about it, but they were not in the room, so I went looking for them. A few minutes later, I spotted them lounging by our suite's private pool and was about to open the door when I heard Emma mention my name. I'm so sick of Jana. If I hear her complain one more time about not being able to live a normal life, my ears will bleed.
Right? And I'm only dating her because the king requested my dad that I do it as a favor to him.
Wait, what? I thought you were into her.
No way! I can't even stand her. Besides, you're way hotter than her.
I think you're hot too. You can do way better than her entitled highness. I watched in shock as Sebastian moved towards Emma and kissed her. Enraged, I stormed into view and they jumped apart. Are you freaking kidding me? How could you do this to me? And how could you say all those awful things about me? Well, everything you just heard, it's all true. We can't stand you. She wasn't even sorry. And it's not my fault that Seb likes me better than a whiny little brat like you. I was so mad I lunged at her and we fell into the pool. A whiny brat? How dare you? Let me go!
Whoa, ladies. Let's all calm down and talk about this, please.
There's nothing to talk about. I'm done with both of you. I got out of the pool, angry, and as I walked away, I slipped and fell. Ow! As I lay there clutching my knee, Mr. Boris came rushing in.
Jana, what happened here?
I caught them saying mean things about me. Then they kissed and
Please, take a deep breath. Everything will be fine, darling. But right now, we have to go back home, so your personal doctor can check your knee.
As he carried me out of there, I felt safe, like everything would be okay. Mr. Boris always made me feel this way. He was more of a father to me than the king. Thank you for always being there for me, Mr. Boris. When we arrived back home, Mr. Boris wheeled me into the living room. When my mother saw me, she got off her chair and rushed towards me. Jana, what happened? Jana went bungee jumping. We tried to stop her, but she didn't want to listen to us. Have you completely lost your mind? Mother,
She tried to take us with her, but we refused.
Sebastian and Emma really wanted me to get into trouble. How could you be so reckless? We trusted you this one time, but you failed. And you How could you let her do that? You're so lucky I can't fire you.
I followed her and watched her. She was not in any danger, Your Highness.
What? I thought I was alone.
You're never alone, my girl.
Go to your room, now! Don't you mean my prison cell? As Mr. Boris pushed me out of the room, I couldn't help but wish that he was the king. A few days later, Mr. Boris and I were out on the lawn when he knelt next to me and handed me a necklace with a locket on it. What's this?
It's my birthday gift to you. I'm sorry your trip didn't go as planned.
Wow, thank you so much. It's beautiful. I'm never taking it off. As Mr. Boris helped me put on the necklace, we saw my mother walk towards us, a bunch of servants following her closely. Mother, is everything okay? Yes, Jana. I'm here to introduce you to your nurse. We hired him just a few minutes ago. Nurse? I don't need a nurse. My knee is much better and My words died in my throat when a familiar guy moved from behind the servants and stood right in front of me.
Hello, Princess. I'm Nicholas. It's a pleasure to meet you, for the first time ever.
Clearly, Nicholas didn't want the queen to know we'd met before because she'd probably fire him. On second thought, Mom, I don't mind being pushed around and taken care of. I don't want to strain my knee too much. Very well, Jana. I'll see you later. And please do everything Nicholas asks.
You heard her.
This was going to be fun. A few minutes later, Nicholas pushed me down a paved path, and when we were far enough, I asked him what I'd been dying to ask. How are you here? Aren't you supposed to be in the Maldives?
Because I live here. I was just in the Maldives for vacation.
Why didn't you tell me you weren't the jumping instructor?
You looked scared, so I figured I assist the damsel in distress.
Whoa! There's no damsel in distress here.
If you say so, Princess.
Whatever. Just wheel me back to my room now. I'm quite tired and I need to rest.
First day, you're already inviting me to your room?
Fine, I'll just wheel myself. I wheeled myself away from Nicholas, and just when I rounded a corner, I saw Sebastian and Emma kissing in front of the palace fountain. I took out my phone and took a picture of them. When I got a chance, I'd use that against them. Disgusting! Careful, you might hurt your other leg and die of jealousy altogether. And then, all of a sudden, when Emma noticed Nicholas, she threw herself at him like a groupie. Hi, handsome. I'm Emma. And you are?
Not interested.
As much as I was enjoying Emma's embarrassment, I noticed something much more interesting. The main gate was wide open, and without thinking, I took off.
Hey, where are you going?
Anywhere but here. I can't look at these two anymore. I expected him to stop me, but to my surprise, he smiled.
Okay, well, just wait here while I go get my car.
As he walked away, I felt so excited. Nicholas was my ticket to freedom. Nicholas drove us to a movie theater, and when we arrived, he parked his car and took his shirt off. What are you doing?
Relax, Princess. It's not that kind of date. I'm just changing into regular clothes. I can't go to a movie in scrubs.
Of course. Makes sense. Did you say date? I've never been on a date before.
What about Mr. Casanova back there? I assume he was your boyfriend at some point?
He was, but we never went out anywhere.
Well, that's his loss. Let's go. They're showing a new horror movie. This should be fun.
He was right. It was fun. For him, at least. I, on the other hand, screamed and covered my face so many times, much to Nicholas's amusement. After the movie, Nicholas pushed me out and was about to help me back in his car when I stopped him. Wait, will you do me one last favor?
Oh, God. Please stop doing that. You look like you're having a seizure.
I really thought I was being cute.
Okay. What do you want?
I want to drive your car.
Absolutely not. You're hurt.
Just then, I stood up from my wheelchair, snatched the car keys from Nicholas, and climbed into the driver's seat.
What the heck? You can walk?
Yeah, my knee is all healed. It's a miracle.
Now get in.
Okay, so let me get this clear. You could walk this whole time.
Yeah, sorry. You're not mad?
What? No. It's obvious you pretended just so you could keep me around. You like me.
He was right, but there was no way I was going to admit it. Shut up! As soon as I stepped on the gas, the car jerked backwards and rammed right into a tree. Nick, are you okay?
Yes, Princess. I'm okay. I can't say the same for my car.
I'm so sorry. My parents are gonna kill me.
You're right. They are.
Nick and I turned to see Mr. Boris standing there. Mr. Boris? Where did you come from?
I found you through the mobile tracker on your phone.
Of course my phone had a tracker. I wasn't even surprised anymore.
Don't worry about the car. I've already called a tow company. I need to get you home now.
I'm really sorry, Nick. As soon as we walked into the living room, my father walked towards us, angry.
Boris, you were supposed to bring Jana back hours ago. And wait, you can walk? Your Majesty, the princess went to a movie, and I didn't want to interrupt because she looked happy for once.
Are you saying that she's unhappy here? Yes, that's what I've been trying to say all this time. I even had to pretend just so I could spend time with Nicholas. You ungrateful girl! We should have never adopted you in the first place! Of all the things I expected her to say, that was not one of them. And as if summoned by the devil himself, Emma and Sebastian chose that moment to walk in.
Oh, she walks!
I knew it. She was faking it so she could keep that stupid nurse around.
Shut up, both of you! Did you just say I'm adopted?
What? This is too good.
I knew all along you didn't have royal blood in you.
You two need to get out! Don't talk to your friends like that! Friends? These two betrayed me and you didn't even bother to ask for my side of the story! Oh, honey, I'm sure it was a momentary lapse of judgment on their part. Seeing how clueless my mother was, I fished out the picture I took of them earlier and showed it to her. See what my so-called friends have been doing right under my nose? She took one look at the photo and grabbed Emma by her ears. Is this what I paid you for?
I am so sorry, Your Highness.
Quiet! Both of you, get out! Emma was finally getting what she deserved. I couldn't take the tension anymore, so I stormed out. I thought my day couldn't get any crazier. Boy, was I wrong. After I stormed out, I went to the palace garden, and as I sat crying, Mr. Boris joined me.
You look so much like your mother. You know? Your real mother, I mean.
You knew my mom?
Yes, she was my wife.
What? I don't understand. As I waited for Mr. Boris to explain, he reached into his pocket and took out a necklace that looked exactly like the one I was wearing.
This belonged to your mom. The one you're wearing belongs to me. We had them made when you were born. This is a picture of you and your mom.
But I don't understand. Why did you give me away?
I had no choice. When you were born, your mother and I could barely provide for you. One day you became very ill, and I decided to seek help from the king and queen.
Mr. Boris continued to explain that the king and his wife, who couldn't have children, agreed to help him on one condition, that he let them adopt me.
I only agreed as long as they allowed me to stay by your side. Your mother was so angry that she left us.
I stared at the photo and sobbed. Mr. Boris was my dad. It all made sense now why he was always there for me, why I always felt a connection with him. Just then, our moment was interrupted by a blood-curdling scream. What was that?
Hurry, let's go find out.
We hurried to the front lawn and found Emma in a heated argument with an elderly couple wearing tattered clothes.
Emma dear, please don't be upset. We are so happy to see you. Who the heck are you? You're mistaking me for someone else.
Emma, my daughter. I know you were just a small girl when we gave you to the queen, but you can't forget your parents. Emma tried to take Sebastian's hand, but he shoved her off him.
Don't touch me. I don't want your poverty rubbing off on me. Security, come throw this trash out.
Guards grabbed Emma and her parents, but before they could throw them out, I stopped them. Stop! I'll take it from here. Hi, I'm Jana. Please come with me. As soon as we walked into the queen's office, she screamed and took a step back. Who are these people? Are we being robbed? These are Emma's parents. You need to help them. And why would I do that? I already spend a lot on Emma's stay here. Besides, she's been busy messing around with your chosen suitor. I don't owe them anything. They need to leave now. How can you be so cruel? You just don't get it, Jana. If we helped every charity case that came to us, we'd have nothing. I can see now we made a poor selection when we adopted you for an heiress. You know what? You don't have to regret your selection anymore. I'm leaving the palace. Look, I know we probably have not been the most attentive parents, the king and I, but we have only wanted the best for you.
Why would you want to leave us? Because even though Mr. Boris was just my chauffeur, he was more of a parent than you guys were. All you did was lock me up and set me up with people who didn't even genuinely like me. I want to be more myself, be free to do whatever I want. I wasn't meant to be an heir. You said it yourself.
The Queen surprised me with a hug. I hardly expected it, but she had never hugged me like this all my life. Was she sad?
I am so sorry I failed at being a mom to you, Jana. I was overprotective, and I didn't give you a chance. You're right. You deserve to be free, and your dad will take good care of you. Just promise you'll come visit us from time to time.
I will take good care of her, Your Highness, and make sure she visits.
Thank you, Boris. You've always been kind. If you need anything, don't hesitate to call me.
The Queen kissed my cheek and left. I was still trying to process her reaction when Mr. Boris took my hand.
Come on, honey. We have some packing to do.
A few hours later, Mr. Boris and I drove to a cabin outside of town, and imagine my surprise when I saw Nicholas waiting. I was so excited, I ran up to him and hugged him.
Nick, what are you doing here?
Mr. Boris called me and asked me to meet you here.
Thank you, Mr. Boris. Dad, for everything.
So, Princess, are you ready for your new life?
You know I'm not a princess anymore.
You'll always be a princess to me.
That's so corny, Nick. I felt a sense of peace, as I knew with Nicholas and my dad by my side, I would always be okay.
Z, baby, do you want to watch me decorate this cake? It's a unicorn cake.
Let me finish my sketch first, Mom. This is my best one.
How are you going to learn about my business if you keep on sketching? Please don't turn into your father.
But Mom, this is what I love.
Mom never took what I loved seriously. She wanted me to take over her business instead of following my dreams. I was born to a loving and caring family. My mom is a baker, and my dad is a fashion designer. My childhood was so much fun, but then my dad left about a year ago with his evil boss and didn't come back. And ever since, Mom has been so bitter about anything to do with Dad. One day, when I was 14, I had managed to make my own dress, and I wanted to show it to Mom. And then I twirled and accidentally bumped the cake she was decorating right off the table. Mom had a total meltdown.
Sienna Lopez, look what you've done!
I am sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to show you the dress I made.
Mom wasn't interested in my dress or my apologies. I offered to help her, but she didn't want that either. And ever since then, she spent more time working and hardly took the time just to look at me. By the time I graduated high school, Mom had her own little bakery. And one morning, when I was looking for some cereal, I made a shocking discovery. I found a stack of letters hidden in the cupboard. They were from my dad. I couldn't believe that Mom would keep these from me. I had to know why.
Daisy,
How could you keep these from me?
Zai, they're just letters. If he really cared, he would never have left us.
Mom's bitterness towards Dad made me sick. I needed to know why she did what she did, but I wasn't getting anywhere with my mom, so I went to my room and stayed there all night. The next morning, I left home before Mom was awake and sat in the park across our apartment building. If Mom couldn't tell me why, I was going to find out on my own. I picked up the top letter to open it, but then a gust of wind ripped it from my hands. I couldn't lose the letter now, so I locked my eyes onto it, and finally it was low enough for me to reach. But as I leapt to grab it, I bumped heads with someone.
Hey, are you all right?
I didn't know if it was the bump on the head or the fact that this guy was a total knockout, but I couldn't reply. Then he waved his fingers in my face.
Hey, are you all right? Can you see how many fingers I'm holding up?
I'm fine. Sorry for bumping into you. I was just chasing. Just then, I remembered how I ended up here, and I was about to start searching again when the stranger handed me the letter.
Hey, is this what you're looking for?
Oh, thank you so much. Can I buy you a hot dog as a thank you?
Another time, maybe. I am off to work. My name's Brett.
I'm Ziana.
I had quite a bump by the afternoon, a sort of nagging reminder of the brawny Brett. I wondered if I would ever see him again. Then Mom walked in.
Zai, do you really want to see your father? Aren't I enough?
Mom was doing this right now, trying to guilt me. I was not going to fall for it.
Yes, Mom, I do.
The next morning, I read Dad's letters, and they were really sweet, and it seemed like he cared. I decided to call him. My dad agreed to come over to our apartment that same night.
Dad, come in.
I have missed you so much, Z-Baby.
What are you doing here?
I am here to see Ziana. She invited me.
Well, this is my apartment and I didn't invite you, so leave.
Ziana, baby, I should go. but I will send a car for you tomorrow. We can meet at my office.
Suddenly, I felt like that little girl Dad left years ago.
Mom, you've kept me away from my father long enough, and you have to stop now.
Dad sent a car for me, just like he said. I felt like royalty. All the way there, I imagined what it must be like to be a famous designer. There was a young assistant who took me into a boardroom filled with people, and Dad gave me a seat at the table.
Everyone, this is my daughter, Ziana, and she will be working here from today. She needs to learn exactly what goes into making us a successful company.
Thank you, Dad.
Ziana, this is Tori, your stepsister, and Lauren, your stepmom. They also work here.
I recognized the lady from the day Dad left. The girl looked about my age. They were so beautiful, but not very welcoming.
Okay, back to work. No time to waste. Ziana, Tori will show you around. I have a meeting to attend now.
After Dad left, Tori and her mom made it quite clear where my place was.
Are you ready to see your new office? Okay, let's go.
I saw Lauren and Tori grinning at each other like Cheshire cats. It seemed so odd until I got to my new office. Tori and Lauren took me to an office that had nothing to do with designing. It was the mail room.
So this is where you will be working. Enjoy!
They left me there and walked off laughing like hyenas. Did Dad even know they took me to the mailroom? Was I supposed to design from there? The next morning, I was up early and ready to go. Tori and Lauren weren't gonna get rid of me that easily. I was going to be the best mailroom girl they had ever seen. Dad would surely see how committed I was. I was busy sorting the mail when I got the surprise of my life to suddenly see Brett in front of me.
Still chasing letters, I see.
Oh, hi! Brett, right? What are you doing here?
I work here. Tori tells me that you're an intern here now. How are you enjoying it?
More like mail delivery girl. I haven't even had a chance to show Dad some of my designs. And how do you know Tori?
Oh, you design? Maybe I can see them and tell you if they're any good, you know? Before you show them to your dad.
I thought that it was strange that Brett wanted to see my designs, but I showed them to him anyway. He was so cute. Well, are they good?
These are okay. Not really what we do here, but you've got potential. Keep at it.
After Brett left, Dad sent his assistant to call for me.
Your dad would like to see you.
Hey, Dad, did you want to see me?
There have been some mix-ups with the materials and designs. Lauren said that you were behind it.
Dad, I just followed what Tori said. She said to deliver the designs to the storeroom and the material to accounts.
Ziana, taking responsibility when you make a mistake is one of the ways to success. I am going to let this one go, but next time please be careful.
Yeah, Ziana. We work too hard to see you mess things up.
Tori was being her usual pompous self. But Dad, he should have realized by now that they stuffed me into the mailroom, but all he cared about was work. I couldn't let Tori and her mom win. I would double-check everything with Dad. That would make him see that my talent was wasted in the mailroom. The next morning, Tori told me that I needed to take the delivery of zippers to the janitor's closet and then clear out the storeroom. That didn't sound right, so I went to see Dad.
Dad, I need your, help. Wait, are those my designs on the models? You snake! You saw my designs and shared them with Tori! When were you gonna mention that this was my work?
Ziana, calm down. What are you talking about?
These are my designs your models are wearing. I drew them. I can show you. My book with my designs, it's gone. You stole it. You took my book, and now you're acting like this is your work.
Ziana, these designs are excellent. There is no way you could have done these.
Especially since all you have done is mix everything up.
I couldn't believe my dad or Brett. But then Brett spoke.
Ziana, it's nothing personal. Please understand.
Oh, shut up, Brett! What is there to understand except that these are my designs?
Tori was such a liar. No matter what I said, she was just going to lie. And how would I prove these were my designs? She even had Brett steal my book. Ah! I wish I had never come here.
Fine! You win, Tori! I quit! And no amount of designer clothes can cover up your ugly hearts!
My heart was so heavy when I left Dad's company. I needed my mom.
Mom, can we talk, please? What's wrong, Z? I wish I never found those letters. Dad doesn't even treat me like his daughter. It's like I'm just another employee. Well, ex-employee now. baby, I'm sorry. Loving money can do that. Makes hearts cold towards each other. I shouldn't have hid those letters from you. If you really want to design and make dresses, then I will help you. But how, Mom? I have been saving to buy the building next door for the bakery, but you can have it to start your boutique. Oh, Mom! Thank you! I'll make it up to you, I promise.
Mom had saved up enough money for me to have my designs made up and rent a little shop. It took 6 months, but at last I had my own little boutique.
Hi there. Will this be all?
Hi. Yes, thank you.
Opening day was good, although I did expect it to be better. And then near closing time, Brett and Tori walked in.
What do you want? Here for some inspiration?
I see you're working my old job.
Your dad asked if I could give this to you. He said it was important. I am sorry for the way things ended for you at the company.
From the looks of things here, I'm not. Your designs are rubbish.
I felt like pouncing on Tori and pulling out her fake hair, but then Mom came up behind me.
Is everything okay, Zai?
Yeah, Mom. I was about to call the cops on these 2 design thieves, but I guess they can go ahead and steal a few designs because they can't steal my talent.
After Tori and Brett's visit, business suddenly slowed down, and I needed to pay rent soon. So I opened the letter Dad sent. It was an invitation to show my designs at their fashion show. But how could I trust him after the way he treated me?
Hi, Zai. I brought you some lunch.
Thanks, Mom. Can we talk? Mom had done so much for me. It showed that she only wanted to help me, so I knew I could trust her for advice.
What's on your mind?
Dad's letter is an invite to show my designs at his fashion show. It would be great for business, but he hurt me so badly.
Before your dad left, he had the choice to start his own little boutique. Instead, he chose a shortcut and left us for Lauren, who had lots of money. I know I've always said don't become like your dad, but you should go to the fashion show.
I was confused. I thought Mom hated Dad.
But Mom, Zai, don't let your emotions destroy your dreams. Be strong and fight to make it happen.
I listened to Mom, and before the show could begin, Dad came backstage. We hugged, and he apologized for how he treated me.
Z, darling, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. It was wrong, and I know that now. I love you.
Thank you, Dad. I love you too.
Now I have to go wow this crowd.
Since I couldn't afford a model, I was backstage getting ready to model my own designs. Then I heard my name. It was like I was floating on a cloud. People loved my dress. Then when I went backstage, the devil herself looked at me sternly. It was Lauren.
Don't let the limelight give you any bright ideas. Your designs may be good, but there's no place for you here. I only have one daughter, and that's Tori. Listen, lady, I didn't come here because I needed a mom. I came here for my dad.
I wasn't gonna let Lauren get me down. The crowd was waiting to see another Très Z original, and I couldn't disappoint. But then I saw Brett standing at the dressing room door.
What do you want, Brett?
Ziana, you're back?
Yes, I am back. Now move! I need to change into another dress.
Oh, do you have more designs in this room?
I couldn't believe that I thought Brett was cute. Too bad being cute didn't make up for being dumb. Brett was wasting my time, so I shoved him aside and went in, only to see Tori.
Ziana, this isn't what it looks like. Then what is it, Tori?
I couldn't expect Tori to admit that she was trying to ruin me. She would just lie. So I grabbed my dresses and left. No point arguing with a fool. Tori and her lackey boyfriend deserved each other. The next morning when I got to the boutique, there were people already queuing to get in. I was so happy. Business was so good that within a year, I was able to buy the building Mom wanted. It was big enough for the both of us.
Oh, Z, baby, this is ours. You never have to worry about rent money again.
Yes, Mom, and I promise I won't twirl near any of your cakes.
While Mom and I celebrated our victory, Dad suddenly entered. Dad, what are you doing here?
I heard everything between you and Lauren that night at the fashion show, and I'm sorry.
I'd never seen Dad with tears in his eyes before, so I hugged him.
It's all right, Dad. I forgive you.
I should have never chosen them over you, but I won't do that again.
What do you mean?
Lauren told me that it was either them or you.
Dad left the big fashion house and asked if he could help with getting the new building ready. Mom found it hard to forgive him just yet, but then she gave him a chance after he surprised her with new baking utensils.
Fine, I'll give you a chance to help us around the business.
Here we were, the three of us, all working together. I was happy that we got a do-over because a family that sticks together succeeds together.
Hi everyone, I'm Felix, and I was born with the weirdest allergy. An allergy to dust. It had a weird smell that always made me sneeze uncontrollably. And as if that wasn't weird enough, I also came from a family of detectives. My paternal great-grandparents were FBI agents. They had a son who became a CIA agent and married another agent, after which the two had a son, my dad, who also became a CIA agent, and fell in love with my mother, a private investigator whose parents were both FBI agents, and whose grandfather worked as a KGB spy during the World War. Then they both had me, the handsome one, and my sister, the ugly duckling who was a huge pain in my butt.
Stop bumping into me!
Stop being so close to me. Get your own tree. For as long as I could remember, Mom and Dad had been training Maud and I to take after them as detectives, just like the entire family was. Maud did pretty well, but I wasn't so great. I was very clumsy and I couldn't help it no matter how hard I tried. Do I really have to be a detective? I hate spying on people.
Don't say that. We're giving you basic life skills in case anything bad ever happens. Never trust anyone. Ever.
My parents didn't trust anyone around them, and because of that, we barely had any friends. In fact, the first time I made my first friend, they chased him away with all their weirdness.
Who gave you the chocolate and sent you? The mafia? The KGB? Answers now!
My granny?
After that day, I never saw him again, and I was pretty mad at them, but I got over it quickly. Meanwhile, at school, I loved to spend most of my time in my favorite place, the lab, where I could study dust particles and develop a cure for my allergy. One day, I was brainstorming when a girl sneaked up behind me.
Hey, what you doing?
And holy smoke, she was pretty. Whoa, I didn't see you there. I'm Felix. Sorry. God, I wish the ground could open up and swallow me. Didn't have any conversation skills with girls because my parents' distrust chased everyone away.
I'm Diana, and I'm a new student. My parents just moved here.
What brings them to Cottingwood?
Just work. So, what are you busy with?
I have an allergy to dust, so I'm trying to come up with a cure.
Whoa, that's super cool! Can I touch?
Sure. After that day, Diana and I became super tight friends. We sat next to each other on the school bus, and she waved goodbye to me whenever it dropped me off first. One day, I was on my way home from the bus when I ran into Maud at the store. Thought you were Voldemort. You shouldn't be sneaking in on people with that face.
Says the nerd. By the way, who's the girl you were waving at?
She's called None of Your Business. I walked away from her before she could say anything more. The next morning, I missed the school bus and had to walk all the way to school. On my way, I bumped into Diana.
Hey, you missed the bus too.
Yeah, seems like we're both unlucky. We walked to school together until we came across a miniature diamond-crusted Santa, sitting quaintly in a show glass in the middle of the town square.
What's that?
It's a Cottingwood Christmas tradition. Santa is rumored to be from here, so this was built in his honor. Everyone believes that there's been a lot of good fortune to the town since this was erected, especially with Christmas approaching.
It looks so valuable. Is it safe to leave something like that out here?
It's guarded by security, so I doubt it'll get stolen.
What a super interesting tradition. I love your town. Christmas here will be the best.
Come on, let's go, or we'll be late. Diana and I rushed to the school, and later, when we were on our way back, we noticed a crowd had gathered around the statue we had been talking about this morning. Curious, I asked someone what all the fuss was.
Our Santa relic has been stolen!
How? It was just here this morning. Felix showed it to me.
Well, someone's stolen it. This Christmas is going to be bad.
Why would anyone steal Santa? The entire town was in turmoil. When I got home that day, my parents also seemed stressed about the entire situation.
This has never happened before. Who'd steal Santa?
I bet it's those new neighbors. It's not a coincidence that Santa suddenly goes missing when they moved here.
What new neighbors are you talking about, Mom? I really hoped she wasn't referring to Diana's family.
Here.
Mom suddenly whipped out her phone and shoved it in my face. To my surprise, it was. How do you already have their pictures?
When they moved in, I did some background check. And get this, they moved out of their old town within 2 months of staying there. They've been doing so with all other towns for years.
Maybe they have their reasons. Not everyone is evil, Mom. Suddenly, Maud appeared behind me and looked at the picture on the phone.
Hey, that's your little girl?
She's not my little anything. Shut up, Maud. I tried to shush Maud, but Mom and Dad already heard her. And soon enough, their attention was on me.
Felix, it's time you went on a mission like your sister. Your mission will be this girlfriend of yours.
You'll use your friendship with her to investigate her family and find clues connecting them to the robbery.
Huh? What? I'm not doing anything. And she's not my girlfriend.
If you don't, we'll have to do it ourselves.
I couldn't let that happen. My parents were super weird when they didn't trust someone, and they could make me lose my friendship with Diana. I had to agree to the mission. Spying on Diana behind her back was really hard. I felt like a terrible friend, and each time she asked if something was wrong, but I knew I couldn't even tell her the truth.
Are you sure you're okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry. Then one day, she asked me out to dinner with her family, and I agreed. After all, this was what Mom and Dad wanted, right? If I could establish Diana's innocence, they'd be off her back. Dinner with Diana and her parents was fun. They were pretty cool people who showed actual interest in my science experiments, unlike Mom and Dad.
Felix, right? Diana said you were a scientist developing some sort of cure? How's that coming along?
I'm actually close to finishing it. I just need some ghost orchid seeds, but they're hard to find around here.
You're just in luck, kid. I have some from our trip to Cuba. My husband and I are globe-trotting reporters, so I frequently collect souvenirs from each country we visit.
That explained Mom's discovery about them moving from one town to another in a short time. Really? That's awesome! After the dinner, I followed Diana's mom to her room to get the seeds, and on my way out, I came across a door that got me really curious. It had a huge keep off sign pasted to it. I wondered what was in there, but I opened the door and was attacked by a cloud of dust. My allergy struck in, and I started to sneeze uncontrollably. At that moment, Diana walked in on me and ran over to my side to help.
Oh, Felix! What's wrong? Are you alright?
She looked around until her gaze settled upon the open room in front of us, and she turned to me with a frown.
Were you snooping around my house?
I can explain. It's Santa.
Santa? You think I stole it? You're a jerk, Felix, and I want you to leave my house this instant!
She had a really mad look on her face that I had never seen before, and I had to leave. When I got out, my sneezing stopped and I felt a little better, so I went home, ashamed and angry at my parents for ruining another friendship for me. But this was the last time. As soon as I got home, I found Mom and Dad waiting for me with high expectations on their faces.
Well, how was it?
Did you find anything incriminating?
God, they were beginning to annoy me to no end. No, I found nothing. And thanks to you guys, you've ruined another friendship for me.
Honey,
Leave me alone! I ran up to my room. The next day when I got to school, I searched around for Diana and finally found her in the cafeteria, alone at a table, and approached her. Diana, about yesterday, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to snoop around your house.
I'm also sorry for yelling at you like that. I didn't mean to. It's just that the room you opened is an old basement with a rodent problem from the previous tenants, and we didn't want an infestation in the main house before the pest control people could arrive.
I understand. I really hate rats.
Right? They're so tiny and annoying.
Diana and I reconciled and became inseparable. She always came over to my house. Dad and Mom never said anything about it. Guess that after my attitude from that day, they felt quite repentant. But Maud, she was a constant pest and always had something to say.
Oh, look! It's the nerd and his girlfriend! What are you two up to this time?
Back off, Smeagol. Nothing here's for your small brain. Maud laughed as she picked a tube of some chemicals I'd just mixed and sniffed it.
Smells like vanilla ice cream. I wonder what it tastes like.
No, Maud. That's my allergy antidote. It's still in progress. Don't. Before we could finish our sentences, Maud took a small sip, and Diana and I stared at her curiously. Are you all right, Maud? You weren't supposed to drink that. I wasn't done with it yet.
Calm down, Albert Einstein. It was just a sip. What's that smell?
Suddenly, Maud's nose started to grow red, and she began to sneeze a lot.
What smell? That awful scent! Oh, I need to get out of here!
Maud bolted from the room, and throughout the day, whenever she came close to me or my room, she sneezed like crazy. As a result, she began to avoid me and claimed that she was allergic to me. Typical Maud. Now I was tasked with making an antidote for her, too. During the week, I got so busy with developing the antidotes that I missed Mom and Dad's presence in my room one day. Oh, I didn't see you two there.
Honey, your mom and I have been thinking of a way to show you how sorry we are about that day. Why don't you invite Diana and her parents over for lunch? We'd like to know our neighbors a little better.
Really?
Yes, Felix, I think it will be a great bonding moment for everyone.
I phoned Diana excitedly and asked if her parents could come have lunch with mine. She quickly asked them and they all agreed to come over. During the lunch, Maud couldn't make it because of her Felix allergy, but the conversations flowed smoothly regardless. Until Mom and Dad went a bit off the mark and began to ask weird questions.
I
I love the diamonds on your neck. They remind me of a certain diamond-crusted Santa. Where did you get them?
Have you ever taken something that doesn't belong to you? Like a Santa statue, for instance.
I realized what they were up to. As Diana's dad dipped his hand into his pocket to pull out his phone, Mom and Dad suddenly leaped across the table to confront him.
I knew it! You're a thief!
Stealing a cutlery, are you? What? I'm just trying to get out my phone.
So, this is why you invited us over? For you and your parents to embarrass us? Come on, we're leaving this silly house!
Diana and her parents left the house angrily, and I faced Mom and Dad, disappointment written all over my face.
Honey, we didn't mean to go that far. We just wanted to make sure.
Save it. I'm sick and tired of you guys always ruining everything. I didn't want to hear any more of their excuses. I needed some space. So I walked out of the house and just strolled down the street, lost in my thoughts, but as I walked, I noticed empty shops and people huddled together, whispering. What was wrong this time? I approached a friendly-looking shopkeeper and inquired, "Hey, please, do you have any idea what's going on?"
Do you live under a rock? Someone's been stealing from our town for weeks. First Santa, now our goods and personal belongings. Something has to be done, or Christmas will be bad for us all.
This was more serious than I thought. A serial thief was on the loose in my town. I also noticed that in the spot where Santa had been earlier, some flowers were growing there. They weren't just any flowers, they were ghost orchids, just like the ones Diana's mom had given me. But that'd mean, no, I couldn't bear to think of it. I turned back and strolled home, so confused about everything. As I passed by Maud's room that night, I noticed she looked in a worse state than before and felt really bad for her. Hey Maud, do you need help?
Go away! That scent! It's everywhere!
When I turned around to leave, that was when I noticed the ghost orchid seeds on her table and the Santa statue hiding in the open drawer. Maud, what's this? I asked as I picked the statue up.
I can explain.
And these.
Felix,
I was speechless as a lot of thoughts invaded my head. Maud's sneezes got worse, limiting her speech, and I had to leave the room back to mine. I sat at my table frustrated. Something wasn't right. A lot of things weren't adding up. I could feel it in my bones. Since we were kids, Maud had never had reason to steal. So why now? I got up from my desk to find Mom and Dad and found them in the sitting room. Mom, Dad, we have to talk.
If it's about the dinner.
No, it isn't. It's about the thief. I found the Santa and Diana's orchid seeds in Maud's room.
Our baby girl isn't a thief.
Exactly. I've thought about this whole thing, and my guts tell me there's someone out there trying to frame Maud or Diana's family. The person thinks they're smart, but we're detectives, and we're smarter. My parents had looks of surprise on their faces, but I couldn't blame them.
I thought you didn't like being a detective.
Well, I just wanted you and Mom to give me some breathing space.
Oh, sweetie, you should have just said so. And for real, we're really sorry about the dinner this time.
Mom and Dad apologized over and over, and after a while, they got out some UV lights for the investigation. We started with Maud's room, tracing handprints and footprints in the dark.
A shoe print that belongs to none of us. That's our first clue. We'll follow the shoe prints.
I'll be out of your hair soon, Maud.
I want to tag along.
You don't have to. No matter what I said, Maud insisted, and we had no choice but to agree because Maud always did what she wanted anyways. When we left the house, Maud's sneezing subsided. We began to follow the pattern of the footprints all the way to
Diana's house?
We found Diana and her family packing up their things out of the house into a big van. Diana, why are you guys moving out this late at night? She avoided my eyes guiltily, and Maud's sneezing came back tenfold.
Ugh, that scent. It's so strong on you. It's choking me. I have to leave.
That was when it dawned on me. Maud wasn't allergic to me. She was allergic to Diana. The only reason she thought she was allergic to me was because Diana was often around me, so I carried some of her scent. Diana, why is Maud allergic to you? Did you mess with my antidote?
Yes, I mixed your antidote with my scent. It wasn't meant for Maud. It was meant for you. I wanted you to stay away from me. I'm a bad person.
How? Suddenly, Mom exclaimed.
Oh my god, you guys are the thieves!
I found her looking at the back of the van Diana's family were loading their things into. Inside were a lot of stolen items from the town residents. I couldn't believe my eyes. All this while, you've been the thieves, and you've been tricking me.
I'm so sorry, Felix, but I wasn't tricking you. My daughter has a condition called kleptomania. She can't help stealing, and that's the real reason we've never stayed long in any town.
I was the one who planted the evidence in Maud's room. Your parents were onto me.
We were going to return everything stolen tonight before driving to another town.
I stared at Diana, and she really looked sad. I felt bad for her. I moved closer and grasped her hand in mine. I had no idea you had a mental condition, Diana. You could have told me.
I was ashamed. Your parents didn't like me so much. What if you stopped liking me too?
That'll never happen. There's a reason I always stood up for you to my family. It's because I believed you were different and special.
Oh, Felix, I'm so lucky to have a friend like you.
Diana hugged me before turning towards her parents.
Dad, Mom, I'm sorry for being a difficult kid. You've always been by my side, and you're the best parents ever.
Come here, honey.
Diana hugged her parents, and the moment felt so passionate it almost made me tear up. Dad and Mom stepped up to Diana's family, looking remorseful.
We're also sorry for making your stay in Cottingwood uncomfortable. Please don't travel. Your daughter can get help here. We know a good mental health facility.
Diana's parents accepted Dad's offer, and the following day, we helped them in returning all of the stolen items. We put Santa back in his spot, and in a week, I finished my antidote. After drinking it, Maud and I got better.
It worked! I guess we will have a scientist in the family for a change. I'm proud of you, brother.
Thank you, Maud. It really means a lot. I was finally accepted for being different in my family, and I think this was the best Christmas ever.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
After the festive season, Diana left for the mental health facility, and I kept in touch with her. And then, one day when I visited her, she had a surprise to show me.
They asked us to paint the most special person or thing in our lives.
Great! And what did you draw? Wow, Diana, this is beautiful. Wait, does that mean I'm your special person? Diana nodded shyly, and then kissed me on the cheek. I turned red, and then took her hand and drew her closer to me. You're special to me too, Diana.
Hi, I'm Mulan, and I grew up in an orphanage, which wasn't so bad since many people loved me because of my incredible skating skills. When I was just 7 years old, I could even spin in the air with my skate shoes.
Wow, she's like a bird!
I loved the attention I got from everyone. Though there were a few kids who were jealous of me, I simply ignored them until one Christmas day, this boy with a big head tried to ruin my skating shoes.
Ooh, what do we have here? Is it your ugly shoes, Mulan Balan?
Give it back now, Hammerhead!
If you want it, you gotta catch it.
He threw one of them high up in the air, and I sprung onto the dining table and caught it with my mouth before I charged after the silly boy who couldn't even fight back after that.
Leave me alone! Ah!
Don't ever touch my shoe again.
Mulan, get down from that table right now! You've ruined Christmas!
Sorry.
That was the last Christmas we were ever served chicken, and everyone hated me because of it, especially our guardian. She spread lies about me being too wild, so no one wanted to adopt me.
She's pretty, but a bit too strong for a girl.
It hurt, and I thought I was doomed to never be a part of a family. But when I turned 16, something out of this world happened. I was running an errand for the orphanage when I saw a woman standing by the bridge. She looked like she wanted to jump, but some idiots were busy videoing her.
No! Don't do it!
I flew like Wonder Woman and got her away from there.
Cut. Kid, who are you? You just ruined our show.
Show? Are you crazy? This woman was about to jump, and you're busy taking videos with your stupid phones?
Suddenly, the woman I saved and everyone else began to laugh at me.
We are shooting a movie, dear. I'm an actress, but thanks for saving me, my hero.
Oh. I ran away from there before I could embarrass myself further, wishing no one in the movie crew and I would ever cross ways again. But the next day, I was called into the nun's office, and I was shocked to see the actress and the producer smiling at me. Hey, I didn't introduce myself yesterday. My name is Percy, and this is my husband, Will. We would like you to be a part of our family.
Are you sure you don't want to choose anyone else? Mulan is a bit ungirly. You may just bring her back in a week.
Her straightforward personality is just what we like. What do you say, Mulan? The Guardian's words made me super angry, and determined to prove her wrong, I said yes. That same day, I packed up and followed the couple home. I was a bit nervous, but Percy's sweetness was reassuring. We already have a son, and I'm sure you two would get along. His name is Gordon. Their house was a big multi-duplex. And just as we went into the sitting room, a bowl of mashed potatoes suddenly came flying at us. A guy my age was yelling at a shivering maid. I couldn't believe he had just thrown food like it was nothing.
Ugh, it's too lumpy. Why can't you do anything right?
Gordon, honey, please calm down.
Come and meet your new sis.
Gordon stomped over to me, and I nearly melted from how he glared at me.
And don't call her my sis. She will never be Laura.
You got that half right, bro. I am a champion. What are you? A loser who throws tantrums over food? His jaw dropped in shock, and he pointed at me.
Return it. I don't want it.
I'm a person, not an it, dumb skull.
She's part of our family now, Gordon. There's no going back.
Gordon walked out angrily, and after dinner, my parents showed me to a beautiful bedroom. I tried to act all cool, but inside I was all jittery. I had a beautiful large space all to myself. Bye-bye, cramped dorms. Don't worry about Gordon. He'll come around. I hoped he did, because I was already feeling super comfortable. Thanks, I can deal with babies like him. I fell asleep just as my head touched the very soft mattress. But hours later, I felt something crawling up my side. When I turned, I came face to face with a monster wearing a red jacket. Ah! I grabbed my pillow and smacked blindly at it, but only ended up smashing the vanity mirror and lampstand. It ran and jumped out of the window just as my new parents came in. Mulan, what's wrong? Haunted. Your house is haunted.
No way. Did you see something?
All I could do was point at the window.
There's nothing there. No one. Must be your imagination. You know, the change in environment and stuff.
They were looking at me like I was a little crazy, so I decided to play it down. Sure, you must be right. I didn't sleep for the rest of the night and kept my lights on. Thankfully, Percy stayed with me. The next morning, Percy and Will left super early for work, so I went to the kitchen and insisted on helping the maid prepare breakfast.
Okay, you can blend these tomatoes.
She put some tomatoes in a glass jar and switched a button. I yelped when the tomato turned liquid in seconds.
Egg! What is that?
It's a blender, doofus. Never seen one before.
I glared at Gordon as he came in looking all smug. Of course I have.
Liar. I know you were nothing but a backwater village girl.
Don't call me that.
Prove me wrong. What is this?
The thing was a blocky machine with a really big pipe. I had no idea what it was.
I know what it is, but I'm not telling just because you asked.
He smiled evilly at me and did something with the machine that had it coming at me with its pipe wide and about to suck me in.
Ah!
He chased me around the house with it, despite the maid yelling for him to stop, ruining everything in his path. Later, when Percy and Will came back, the house still looked like a war zone, despite my efforts and the maids to put it back together.
What happened here?
It's Mulan. I think she's a bit crazy. She just started screaming and ruining everything.
He's lying. Ask her. He's the one who went crazy. I turned to the maid for her to speak as a witness, but she was staring at Gordon and shivering like a leaf.
It's true. Mulan did it.
With the way I had ruined my room last night, I couldn't totally blame them for believing the lie.
Milan, 1 hour at the porch, now.
I went out to the porch feeling horrible. Gordon had succeeded in making me appear like a nutcase. Anymore, and I was sure the couple would kick me out. I couldn't let that happen. The Guardian would laugh at me.
I am sorry, Mulan. I know you didn't do it.
Then why did you send me out?
It was the only way to avoid Gordon throwing tantrums. Gordon is kind of a problem child. My husband and I thought that maybe he was just really lonely and needed a sibling.
So that's why I'm here? As his pacifier?
No, you see, Gordon had a twin sister with your personality. He became this way soon after we lost her.
I felt chills run down my spine at the sad news.
Oh, sorry about that. Our family has never been the same again, and we just wanted to be a family of 4 again this Christmas, and the rest.
I won't baby him like you guys, but I'll try to understand him. That was my promise. But it was so hard to keep because Gordon, now aware of my technophobia, kept pulling pranks at me. Soon, I was registered in the same school as him, and I was stunned to see how different Gordon was there. He was the complete opposite, quiet and so reserved. It didn't take long for me to discover why. I was working out some class assignments when a group of overgrown boys entered our class and walked right up to him.
Hey, Gordon, what's in the bag?
They grabbed his bag and began rummaging through it like raccoons.
Oh, yes. Mommy's boy got the cash as usual.
Wait, that's my lunch. Don't take it.
Are you sure, Gordon? You know what will happen if I don't, right? I will show everyone the video of—
Okay, take it. It's all yours.
They laughed and walked away, and though I was really mad at them, I didn't want to jump in until I understood what they had over him. So the moment we were on our ride home, I asked, "Those kids from before, what's their deal?"
Mind your business.
Look, I don't know what has you so angry, but if being nasty to everyone is your way of feeling better after those kids are nasty to you, then you're the lowest. He didn't talk to me again, and I ignored him right back, leaving the car as soon as we arrived home. Later, just to pass the time, I went exploring the house, and I was shocked to find a fancy pair of used skating shoes.
That's my sister's.
She used to skate. I do too.
Oh, so that's why my parents adopted you. You remind them of...
Oh, whoa! Don't pull any reincarnation stuff on me now. He looked so sad and I had to comfort him. I am not a replacement for your sister, but I can be an awesome sis to you if you drop the attitude.
You were right. I am always angry, not only because I miss my sis, but those kids make my life horrible. I was dared to bark like a dog at one of their birthday parties. I didn't know they videoed it. If they show it to the whole school, I'll be the biggest laughingstock of the century.
Those jerks! I have an idea. But first, you owe me an apology for sneaking into my room that night. The masked figure was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I am sorry. Wanted to freak you out in a way.
The following school week, I had dog costumes ready for my plan.
Are you sure about this?
Trust me, do something worse than what they have done in the video, and the video won't hold water. As if timed, the group came to us.
Hey, Gordon, lunch money. You know what will happen if you don't cooperate.
Post a video of me barking like a dog?
Oh, growing wings now. Just watch as we show the whole school the video next week as a Christmas gift.
As soon as they turned their backs, Gordon and I donned the dog costumes and chased after them on all fours, barking like dogs.
Ah, freaks!
They ran screaming like babies, and many students got a good video. The big guy had tears in his eyes when we pinned him down.
Now you're the one on camera. How's that for a Merry Christmas in advance?
The stunt earned us attention, but it didn't matter because Gordon was so happy. He hugged me right as we got home.
Thanks, sis.
It's what siblings do for each other. Gordon and I nearly had a heart attack when our parents arrived looking like mad people.
Pack your essentials and let's leave. Now.
What? Why? Just obey Milan. We will explain later. There's no time. We packed up and they drove us to a decaying cabin. There was no light and we had to get firewood to heat ourselves up. Okay, can anyone explain what we are doing here now?
My question exactly.
We didn't have enough money to adopt you, so we had to borrow from a loan shark. Now he's asking for the money in a week or he's going to make trouble. Or worse, take you.
Take me? I am not some doll.
How much are we talking about?
15 grand. There's no way we would get that in a week. We can't let Milan go, so we have to hide for now until we get the money.
I am so sorry, Milan. Your first Christmas with us is going to be terrible.
I was touched that they would rather stay in this dying cabin than let me go, but I had no idea how to help. Even Gordon was so desperate to help, he began to act a bit crazy. We were having dinner one night when he came in wearing the red cape, the one he scared me with on my first night at the house, and carrying a shovel. Where are you going?
If I shovel 1,000 driveways, I can get 15 grand and we can go back home.
Shovel 1,000 driveways? Are you crazy? Young man, drop the cape and come eat.
Never! This house is on the brink of collapse.
Suddenly, the roof of our cabin tore off, and the wind rushed in, taking the cape Gordon had refused to remove and bringing in a flyer.
Oh no.
See?
While everyone was panicking about the roof, I grabbed the flyer and almost screamed with joy.
15 grand for winning a skating competition on the 25th?
Before we could read more, the wind took it back, but I knew how to help, and it wasn't at all crazy like shoveling 1,000 driveways. I trained for the day like a horse, but when Percy arrived with the costume she designed, I wanted to run.
Why does it have bulbs and wires inside? It's going to display Christmas lights and make a performance stand out.
Sounds nice, but the idea of the gown was a big challenge to my technophobia.
Look, it's okay. If it makes you uncomfortable, I will just go ahead with my own plan.
Gordon's words gave me a morale boost. He was willing to shovel 1,000 driveways for me. This was my family now too, and making sacrifices came with the package.
It's okay. I'll wear it.
The D-Day came, and I dressed up in the clothes that felt like bombs to me, just as I was announced to come and perform. Gordon handed me his sister's skating shoes.
I want you to have it because you're my sister now.
I couldn't speak with how happy I was to finally be accepted by Gordon. I changed into the shoes and felt a renewed confidence. I got onto the rink and began to skate. When our clothes lit up with different colors and lights, people stood up and gave us a standing ovation.
You did it! You did it!
We did it. I came in second place for a $12 grand prize. And to top it all, one of the judges asked to be my coach for the next Winter Olympics. Mom and Dad were so happy. We're so proud of you.
At least with what I have, it's more than enough to pay our lender. Now let's go home and have a proper Christmas party.
But instead of getting home, we got stuck in traffic.
Hey, what's going on? There's a mountain of snow ahead. We need to wait for it to be cleared up.
This Christmas is ruined.
Hey, it's not compulsory we sit around a table eating chicken for Christmas. We hardly did that at the orphanage.
Really? What did you do then?
We sing.
No way.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love said to me,
1 pair of slippers, 2 pairs of boxers, and a very hot bowl of beef stew.
Okay, let's not sing.
You are something else, Milan. You came and lit up our family like a Christmas tree. Thank you.
It wasn't the typical family Christmas, but I was so happy and grateful for what I now had. I was loved. I had a family. What makes Christmas perfect isn't the lights and the bulbs and the gifts. It's just being with the ones who love you and who you love.